Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Food and Booze Show. You're probably a little confused because I do not look like Mia, and normally this is Mia's job to tell you that you are at the Food and Booze Show. I'm sitting in, I'm Debbie Davis, but I'm going to hand everything over to Chef Dennis, who is at Della's After Dark in Brandon, Florida. So, Chef, let us know what's going on over there.
Hey Deb, thanks so much for being available today to help us start since Mia had some pressing business.
Sure.
Appreciate that. And we're here at Della's, and we're here with Della's owner, Beverly Delagrato.
Delagrato.
I'm sorry. And that is where we got Della's from. And Beverly's been here for how long?
25 years.
25 years. So
Yes.
that's saying something in today's restaurant business
Yes,
to be
absolutely.
able to keep going that long.
Absolutely.
So during the day, this is a deli.
Yes, it is.
And you're going to tell us a little bit about what you do in the deli, what you have, what kind of
Okay.
food.
So we have breakfast and lunch. We open at 7 and we close at 2:30. For breakfast, we do eggs Benedict. We do pumpkin French toast. We do egg sandwiches. We do full breakfast, fresh baked muffins. Lunch, we do homemade soups. I do 6 of them a day that I do myself. We do very famous for our chicken salad. We do the Reubens and all the typical deli items, and then we always throw different things in for specials.
Now, your famous chicken salad, you said it was fried chicken salad?
No. It's
Okay.
a famous chicken
famous
salad.
chicken salad.
Yes,
Okay. I wanted to
famous
make
chicken
sure. I thought I'd heard
No, not fried.
Okay.
No, we really kind of advocate clean eating.
Okay.
Delis. We really don't fry anything. We do French fries and burgers on Tuesday and Thursday, only because that's what some people want.
that. Mhm.
So we have only limited it to Tuesday and Thursday. We will not do it any other day.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, exactly. But everything that we have, I mean, my chicken salad comes from chicken breasts that we actually cook, and I use my stock for my soup,
Mhm.
and everything here is absolutely fresh. Been fresh for 25 years is my new motto.
Great. What is your favorite thing to eat here that you make?
My chicken salad.
Your chicken salad.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah,
I've been hearing that a
yeah.
lot from everyone. Your
Yeah,
chicken salad.
definitely, it's chicken salad. We used to sell, it'll tell you on my sign, 200 pounds a week, and I have not even measured it in the past 5 years.
Wow.
So I know that it's more than that. So
That's a lot of chicken
that's
salad.
a lot of chicken salad.
Yeah.
The other day before 7 o'clock, I had already sold 4 pounds of chicken salad by people on their way to work in Tampa
Mhm.
that needed pounds of chicken salad.
In the
So
morning.
Yes.
Gotta love it.
Yes. So it's famous. It's definitely famous. We have people who have shipped it out of state overnight as well.
Gotta love it. You know, well, a
Mhm.
good chicken salad is hard to
I
beat.
know, and I've tried to find a better one, and I have searched high and low, and it's not.
Gotta love it. So I see a tray of your homemade desserts here.
Oh.
If you can lift it up and put it up to the
Like how?
just right up to here, if you can pick it up, just so, there we go.
Okay.
See, this is what's great about it. On this show, we get to start with the dessert.
Absolutely.
There we go. So we got a little bit of picture. Okay. Put it down.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Mm.
Yeah. So what are some of the things you have on there?
This is our Coca-Cola cake. This is our Hawaiian wedding cake, which is pineapple and coconut. Red velvet cake, your normal red velvet old-fashioned recipe. This is our hummingbird cake.
Wow.
And this is our Spanish cream cake.
Oh my
And
goodness.
these are our whoopie pies. These are red
Yeah.
velvet and our chocolate and our pumpkin.
You really go all
And
out.
we have done whoopie pies way before they were popular. We started those like 20 years ago before anybody even knew what a whoopie pie was. So that's it.
They were just
All-
happy pies. Now all of a sudden
Exactly.
they're
Now
whoopie pies.
they're whoopies.
And are all of those desserts, those are in the deli, or is that part of the restaurant?
It is in the day business, the day restaurant. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A little bit of
Okay, and
I
we-
didn't get any butter on there.
That's okay. We have some French toast here.
Pumpkin French toast.
Pumpkin French toast.
Yeah.
Feel free to take pictures of it, Deb, if you want to when I hold it.
Alrighty, I will.
You can just pour a little on for me.
Sorry, they usually don't let me
That's
out
good.
front.
I know, right? Me
I know. I know. Being a former chef, I understand that.
Exactly.
We were relegated to the back.
Right.
So pumpkin French toast. Tell me a little bit
Pumpkin French
about
toast.
it.
It's just something that we do for fall. That is just our little country white bread. Mm-hmm.
I can smell the pumpkin.
Okay, can you taste the cinnamon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Taste the cinnamon. Wow.
Vanilla.
Vanilla.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is very good.
Thank you. And may I just say about my desserts that
Please
these
do.
are all my mom's recipes. My mom was my baker for 20 years. She retired a couple of years ago. And every one of these are her recipes that she shared with us so we can use them. Of course, nobody makes them like Mom,
No.
but my new bakers do a good job. So.
We give it a try.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the taste of that, Chef. I took a big bite as you held it up to the camera.
Excellent. Okay. So, you're open every day? Or are you open
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, so take the weekends off.
Absolutely.
And I've noticed there's a lot of that around here, is that the way businesses are geared.
Because we're at the area that we're in, there's not a lot of things open on Saturday
Right.
or Sunday, so we pretty much have just gone. When I opened After Dark, I closed Saturday, just
Okay.
because it was easier for the turnover, just to let them close on Friday and not turn it back to
Right.
the deli. Yeah, because it's it's like an hour turnover.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, there's work to do.
Yep.
Well,
So
that
that makes me want to know, the deli must have been taking a lot of your time up, and yet you decided then to open up After Dark as well. That's amazing.
Well, the reason why is my son graduated from college and he moved to New Zealand, but he has always chefed, and he learned from a 5-star chef a master chef in New Zealand, and he went back to Colorado. So I called him and I said, why? I had other people approach me to lease the space at night to do a restaurant, and I said no, because I really didn't want strange people in here. So I called him and I said, hey, why don't you come home? And I'll not charge you any rent. You can open whenever you want, do whatever. I said, you're a fabulous chef. And he's like, let me think about it. And the next day he called and said, I already have my sous chef. We're on our way. And they came from Colorado, and the rest is history. He did this for 12 years and did a very, very good job at it, just like Deb's doing. It's just been a very good thing. People like it. When I closed, I went on vacation, I had 52 voice messages. What can I do to help you reopen? And that's what I said about finding a chef.
Yeah.
If you find me a female chef, we can do this.
Yeah, she had a very specific request for a female chef. Go ahead and tell us what you said.
Okay, my request was it had to be female. She had to be older. She had to be married. No drugs and no alcohol. And Debbie appeared in my life just like an angel, and the rest is all good.
So that's pretty cool. I mean,
I didn't think I would find it, to be quite honest.
So you were almost hoping, I'm never going to find that.
Actually, a little bit of me was, because it was just a lot easier not having it open at night. But but when she appeared, it was like this was meant to be. Absolutely.
Meant to be.
And she's so much like me. It's almost like we're sisters.
Oh my goodness. All right. Now,
Cream of tomato and chicken salad.
Yes.
I'll let her tell you about
okay,
it.
so we have a cream of tomato
Cream
soup
of tomato
first,
with spinach soup.
with spinach.
Lovely. Nice.
Which, by the way, I make 6 homemade soups every single day when I come in. And cream of tomato is on the everyday.
Well, cream of tomato is one of my favorites.
Oh, so I did good by choosing
Oh,
that one. Good.
And that's looking like some pretty creamy cream of tomato soup. I mean, that looks thick
It
and
is.
rich.
And one of the thing about cream of tomatoes, you almost never get it anywhere. Because
Yeah.
coming from New Jersey, people were brainwashed. If it was tomato soup, it had to be Campbell's.
I know.
And the first time I made tomato soup where I worked at for my girls, it was like no one would touch it. No one, and then
Really?
finally they started tasting it, and it became their favorite soup.
Exactly.
Unless
It's
they found
become
out
my
that something
favorite,
was
my
better.
people's favorite as well. But I mean, my people, they'll tell you today it's the cream of tomato, tomorrow it will be the black bean veggie chili. They change. They're very fickle.
Now I noticed a little hint of spice in here. Is there
Basil.
basil?
There's basil, garlic.
There's no heat.
No.
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 Okay.
No, that's the only
I
one
can
I
taste
don't
the
put heat
basil. I
in.
can taste a little bit.
Yeah. No heat.
Mhm.
But I mean, I've come
That's
up, when I first opened 25 years ago, they wanted chicken noodle soup. I mean, it was very hard to educate the public, because I would make like cream of, butternut squash, and way before that was even
Right.
popular, and I would make cream of parsnip, and they would put their little noses up at it.
Yeah.
So I had to actually let them taste.
Yeah.
Okay, please taste the You don't like it, you don't have to
Right.
buy it, but I converted. They're like,
It-
okay, what
it's-
did you make today?
It's difficult. Then after a while, then they start looking for it. But that
Right.
for those first few times
Right,
you do it,
right.
wow. So
Exactly.
here's the famous chicken salad.
salad.
Mm-hmm.
Croissant.
And Chef dives in. I am getting hungrier by the minute.
You're going to see why it's famous.
Oh, yes.
Mm. Oh, that's so good.
Thank you.
Now it's all white meat.
All white breast. Boneless breast I cook every single day. Almonds,
Almonds,
celery,
mhm,
and grapes.
grapes.
And that's pretty much it. And that's been my recipe for like 50 years. So, When I opened my restaurant, I knew that had to be on the menu.
Not too much mayonnaise. It's perfect.
And there's actually one other little thing in there. I'm not going to tell. That's a secret.
Okay.
Let's see if you can tell.
The secret recipe. Come on, let's hear it.
I want to see if he can tell what it is.
Oh, we're waiting with bated breath here.
I've had a couple of people guess it, but not many out of all of these years.
Oh, and I have a feeling we're not going to learn the secret from you.
That's fun.
Okay,
Leave something a mystery.
There you go.
This is very good. Luckily, I came hungry because there's mounds of food coming.
Oh, well, I sure am glad you did. You've got to devour this plate of desserts because everybody else is on a diet.
Pass that baby over here. I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't do as much desserts as I used to. That used to be a big thing for me.
Right.
But as I've gotten older, I can't eat as much at one time.
I know. Yeah, that's me. But I can do it, 6 times a day versus 4.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, they called to me during the day. It's
right.
We're here. We're still
here.
here.
Exactly.
So that's unfortunately when I eat the desserts, which is not always a good time.
Right.
But this was great. So
Yay.
Wonderful place to stop. You have specials.
We do. Every day we have different specials. Yesterday was our steak sandwich. We do a ribeye steak. We put on a ciabatta roll with an herbed mayonnaise, caramelized onions, crumbled gorgonzola, and tomato. And it's one of our, people, even when it's, because I only offer that on special on Wednesday, but they can get that Monday through Friday because that's a healthy eating for them.
Okay.
But,
so I like that you aim more towards healthy eating and you educate them.
I do. We're in a medical area here, which does not mean that they eat healthy.
Right,
but
I know that.
But that's what I thought when I opened. So, and I still wanted to maintain it. I am definitely one of these eating healthy. Even my children's menu is, healthy. It's like we have to get clean eating here. So no, if your child wants, something fried, not getting it. So.
Well, it's good. It's good to know. It's a safe place for parents to bring their children.
Absolutely, and they do.
Yeah.
And I've been
Chef,
here. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I just wanted to say hi to a few of the folks that we have out in the audience. Elena is here, and Jamal is here, and I believe he's here from Paris, if I'm not mistaken. And Kevin Burns. Apparently, Kevin has some roots in New Jersey as well.
I see that.
So.
Elena is in London. She's an Italian living in London.
Oh, very nice.
So we have a multinational.
We do, definitely.
I had to finish that. It was too good. They're like, no, I'm sorry.
None left for me. Thanks a lot.
No, sorry. All right, so I think Deb's coming out now.
Yes, she is. It will be Debbie's turn. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thank you for this.
Thank you so
interview.
much.
Thank you so much, and thank you.
All right, so we're getting ready for the second course. Pass this on, and now we'll be coming out with Della's After Dark and some of the foods that they serve here. And boy, I'm glad I wore my stretchy pants because I'm really going to need them today.
Yeah, Mia kind of warned me about that too. She calls them the big girl pants for me, but although I don't see any use for them right now here just watching you eat.
No.
You kind of just moved yourself through a little breakfast and a little lunch over at the deli, right?
Yep.
And now Della's After Dark.
I can't believe she left these desserts here. I'm going to hold them up again.
Let's have a look.
Phenomenal.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That red velvet, yeah, that's what I think we're looking at right now. That's one of my favorites. Yeah. Well, hopefully you brought a computer bag.
Yeah.
Just slide those right on in there. That looks wonderful.
I'm telling you. And they smell good too. I'm catching whiffs of the different baking odors.
So now, Chef, you said that they're not open today, right?
No. We picked today so we'd have a nice quiet day for the show. And actually the show was arranged by a friend of mine, Michele Northrup, the Saucy Queen. And she's not here yet. I think she's on her way. But she's going to come in later on. We may spend a few minutes with her. But Michele has a very interesting story about how she started. And she started by making hot sauces at home. Her children have a garden at the school, and the parents have to take the vegetables, and they have to make something with the vegetables for the lunches at school. And she had carrots and didn't know what to do with them, so she ended up making a hot sauce out of the carrots. Of course, these are children, so it wasn't terribly hot, but it was an interesting sauce. Kids loved it. Everybody started saying, why don't you bottle this? So she actually looked into it, and now she owns her own bottling plant in Florida where she bottles private label things for other sauces. It's amazing.
And I think that you have a link to her site or to her page or something over in the event description here, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching this on YouTube, we're over on Google Plus at the Food and Booze Show page, and you can look at the event there to get the link to Michele Northrup's sauce, hot sauce. All hot sauce? Is it all hot sauce?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
it's called the Intesity Academy.
Oh, I remember now. Up in actually the event banner, you have the logo. And I saw Intensity Academy, and I wasn't really sure what that was, and now I know.
And she was actually on, I believe it was the Today Show. She had made a lollipop with the hottest chili pepper you possibly could use. The rating on it was like off the charts, and she became national news because of that. I forget what they called it, but they were marketing that, and they actually had her on all these different talk shows and news spots talking about this lollipop that she had made.
Oh, the hot pop, no doubt. And I'm afraid that would be a really cruel joke for me because I like lollipops, but I do not like hot spice.
I know. I'd like to send one to Mia, but I don't want to kill her.
No, I don't think she would really totally appreciate that. Let me just bring up this comment here from Kevin Burns. And Chef moves his hands while eating, much like a conductor does for an orchestra. He feels it as he tastes and smells the aroma. You know what? You are very artful in the way you taste food, so that makes that fun for us to watch.
Well, I think it goes back to being a chef and trying to capture all the different elements. When I would taste something that I was making, you want to get the aroma in there. You want to try and pick out the flavors that are in there. So it's not just like put a spoon in your mouth and that's all there is to it. There's more to savoring the moment and enjoying the flavors and trying to decide if it's right or not. So I guess that's part of it. And,
definitely. The art of eating. I mean, I think that should be an art form for some of us.
Absolutely.
I like that a lot.
I see Nazim is in the audience.
He sure is. In fact, yeah, let me, I can go ahead and pull up a few. Here
Sure.
we have, there is Nazim speaking Italian, which always makes me just a little bit crazy, Nazim. I mean, in a good way, in a very, very good way. And let's see, Elena, I think is how she pronounces it. David Henry Pipe, those desserts look good. Yeah, I guess so. And more international flavor here to today's show. So nice to see you all.
Okay, so I just heard the chef's on her way out shortly.
Very good. With more plates of food that we're happy to pretend that we're sharing with you, because really we're not sharing that much.
No.
This is a hard job. I feel sorry for Mia.
Well, see, now you know what I went through all those first shows with her, where I had to be the moderator and she was torturing me. So it's payback time, but I think that might be why she took that job tonight, so she didn't have to sit through it,
I remember very clearly one of your first shows, and I was watching and realized she was right down the street from me, and guess where I ended up 15 minutes after the show? Sitting right next to her, and I ordered up a plate, so.
Wait till you see this plate. And this is Chef Debbie. Dolce Debbie.
Hi.
Very
How are
nice
you?
to see
Very
you.
nice
Hi,
to meet you.
Chef.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Debbie? I'm Debbie, too.
Great. Well, that's easy enough to remember, isn't it?
My usual partner, Mia Voss, is out for tonight, and Debbie has graciously stepped in. And Debbie's also in the Denver area of Colorado, too. So.
I used to live in Boulder for 3 years.
Lucky
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
Great place.
I've had some fabulous opportunities of where I've lived in Boulder, lived in Venice, Italy. So I've really been blessed.
And I think I also saw that you spent some time in Paris as well on the website.
Yes. In fact, getting ready the end of this year, I'm actually going to take a brief vacation and I'm going to go back to Paris. My husband is currently writing his second book, which is about the year he lived in Paris. His first book, The Venice Experiment, was about the 13 months that we lived in Venice.
I think I saw that book.
Yes, it did really well. It came out, I don't know, it's been 2-3 years ago, I suppose. So anyway, his follow-up is his year he spent in Paris. So I'm going to get to go back to Paris, and for the last 2 weeks of the year. It'll be my first time ever that I've had Christmas and New Year's in Paris. So I'm pretty excited.
Some people just know how to make a living.
Lisa and I have spent New Year's in Paris. We did.
Yeah.
And we landed on Christmas Day or the day after Christmas. Christmas Day. We landed, I think, Christmas Day. Late in the day. It was an experience.
I can't wait. I really. I've been fortunate enough that I've spent a lot of time in Paris because that's Barry, my husband. I swear he's Parisian in another life, and so that's kind of my love has always been Venice, Italy, and for no real reason other than as soon as I stepped out, I felt I was at home.
Yeah.
But his is Paris, and so this is all in the name of work, of course.
Of course.
This is research. Of course.
Yes.
Yes,
Research.
Absolutely. And so.
Now we did spend a New Year's Eve in Venice as well. The Millennium. We were there for that.
Oh, let's see. I'm trying to think when I missed that. I was in Boulder for the Millennium.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was another alternate universe as well.
We were almost hoping that, things would fall apart. We wouldn't be able
you wouldn't be able to get home. What a horrible place to have to be, right? The horror.
I know.
It's just terrible.
So anyway, tell us what we have here, and if you mind holding it up for the camera right there.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to have you guys taste, or those of you here, that's not translating very well. But
hold it right up to there we go. That's it.
It's beautiful. Oh yeah.
Sorry about that.
Okay. We'll bring it down.
But what we have here is my grilled gator or grilled octopus, and it is served on a I can grab it.
And what's it served on?
It's served the red that's on the plate. And if you go to our website, dellasafterdark.com, you can see a better picture, actually, of this dish. The red is a hibiscus and cactus fruit puree that is served with an arugula salad, kiwi, and finished with a reduced balsamic vinegar.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And a little Himalayan pink salt.
I get a little bit of heat from it, but it's such wonderful flavors and the texture.
It's a little, I have just a little bit because I actually with the octopus I braise it before I grill it, and I braise it in the ingredients that I use for the braise has just a little bit of red pepper flake, so that's going to be the little bit of heat that you get.
Can I tell you something?
Tell me.
This is the first time I've eaten octopus.
Is it really?
Because
what do you
usually
think?
it's really good. It's crunchy and I like that, and it's got the flavors. Because usually I had a very bad experience in an early age with I wasn't attacked by one, but I didn't know.
Again, the horrors.
Right. But I didn't know what it was that I was tasting when I was tasting it, and I knew it wasn't right.
Right.
As I reached into
that would be an odd
and I have
sensation.
Not ever gone back to it. So.
Well, here you go. Now,
I'm going in for my third piece.
It's not a horror for you this time.
It really is very good, and I like the textures that you've given it.
Well, so many times when you have octopus or you have shrimp, sometimes scallops, you might as well be eating a pencil eraser.
Yeah.
And so by grilling the octopus, by braising it, you get that flavor that is layered into the meat. And then so that you get that texture, because that's one of the things I'm all about, is that texture. I want to have texture to my dishes. And you'll be tasting some gnocchi here in a minute, and when you taste the gnocchi, you'll see, again, is a great representation of what I how I try to incorporate some type of a text, mini texture.
Hang on 1 more second. Let me come in for that. Put it back up there.
Now, let me tell you, I just tasted it with the kiwi, and it is so good with the kiwi.
That is delicious.
But the griddle gives you that textural part of it to where you're not having pencil eraser.
No, it's not chewy, and I know part of the trick with food like that is the amount of time you cook it, because you either cook it for a short time, you got to cook it forever.
This is a cook it forever kind of thing. I braise it in, like I said, several ingredients and such to impart layered flavor to it, and it braises for about 2.5 hours.
Wow.
And then you, after it's braised, you allow it to sit in the broth that it's braised in, and it sits in that until it comes to room temperature. And then once it reaches room temperature, it has to sit in the braise overnight.
Wow.
So this is kind of representative of me in that, God forbid I do anything that you just, there you go, wham, bam, it's done.
Yeah. This is not an octopus helper.
No, it is not octopus. Come to Della's After Dark, and it's octopus helper.
Here we go.
You tell me you want it, and bam, it amazingly appears within 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's the difference. You put all the work in ahead of time.
Have to.
That was very good, and you've cured me of my octopus fear, and I will try. Because see, we have a rule on the Food and Booze: whatever you put in front of us,
you have to try.
We have to eat. Like, I don't eat beef, and I've had beef since I've been on the show, but that's the only time I eat it, and I pine over it sometimes after I've eaten it, but I just don't go back to eating it.
Well, I'm not going to force you on the. I am gonna put red meat in front of you
fine.
tonight, but it won't be beef.
Yeah, that lamb.
We're gonna do lamb.
That's fine, and I'm not sheepish about lamb, so that's okay.
Well, and my secret for lamb, the way and this is what I live by when I'm eating it, as well as certainly when I'm serving it, is that it's either got to be Australian or New Zealand.
Yes.
And so that's one of the things that I'm religious about.
It doesn't have that real strong flavor.
Gamey. It doesn't have the gamey flavor to it. Exactly.
I think that was when I first started eating lamb, was when they started seeing that in the marketplace. Chefs were bringing that in and talking big on New Zealand lamb. Big difference.
Yes.
Smaller?
Yes, it is much smaller, but it's not as well. Of course, I've French the racks, but it's not as fatty.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer in quality over quantity. So you still get a fair amount. And you don't leave hungry here. That's for sure.
Oh no.
But yeah, it's you get more bang for your dollar, I think, by going with that. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to trying that.
Yes. So next, and I'm going to go grab the plates, if y'all will forgive me for about 30 seconds. But I'll tell you a little bit about what you're going to be getting, so you can start salivating now.
All right.
So I have a gator duo.
Oh boy. That
I do. So I have a fried gator and a gator stew. And then you're going to be you've tasted the octopus. So we're going to bring out the gator. And I have that coming for you now, and that should be, I've got my Sue back there getting that plated for us while I'm yakking. So, which is, again, it's a fried gator, and then I created a gator stew using cannellini beans.
Okay.
And Intesity Academy, which is one of our local companies here in the Tampa area that is just really tearing it up all over the country, actually, and they have so many incredible products that with every possible way I can dream of, I incorporate their stuff in it. So the gator will be the first thing that I'm introducing, how I use some of their products, which will be their Saucy Everything.
Saucy Everything.
Oh, I can eat a sandwich that's just simply bread and Saucy Everything, and halfway through you just get rid of the bread and you just drink the Saucy Everything. So you'll be dipping your fried gator in the Saucy Everything, and then, like I said, I have a gator stew. So I'm going to go grab that real quick. I'll be back in 15 seconds.
You got it. And then we will gator done.
Yeah, well, you know, you're having octopus and gator, and I'm wondering. I mean, you're a Floridian now these days. Is that typical to be able to get that kind of cuisine in that part of the country? Because here in Denver, we don't eat octopus and we don't eat gator.
Well, you know, coming from Philadelphia area, any place where you have Mediterranean people, Italians, Greeks, you're going to find octopus. Spanish, Portuguese. You know, you're going to find those kind of dishes served. So, I mean, to me, that's where it's not unusual. I mean, I grew up with a lot of Italian friends, so you know, they were serving octopus all the time, and it was like, no, thank you. I don't do octopus. I don't do squid. I don't do, you know, because the times I've had it were just not pleasant experiences. I don't know how to cook it. It's not what I do. So, you know, it's not something that I would try to cook. But I'm telling you, that was really good.
Well, I mean, you're down there. You don't need to cook it. You just go over to Della's after dark.
Yeah. But, you know, one of the things you asked about localization and what we have, one of the things we do have down here is gator because it's so prevalent in the area. But seeing it, yeah, we drive down the road and you see signs for gator jerky. And it'll say, all gator, no pork.
Well, I got to get down there and get me some of that, some gator jerky. I just, yeah, I'm salivating. Can you tell?
I know. And here comes, I see gator. I see gator.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so here we go.
Let's see if I can get.
Just a little. There we go. Ooh, that's.
Yeah, there we go.
Be able to catch. Let's see.
Oh, you got soup too.
Yeah.
The stew.
That's the stew.
Okay.
And I don't know. There we go.
There, it's good.
Nice.
Excellent. Ooh, wow.
Okay. So this is my gator duo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll get you another one. Just leave that there. I'll get it.
I've dropped two.
Another thing we like to do here at Della's, I like to make sure we have plenty of forks.
Oh, okay.
So this is your fried gator.
Good. And this is the saucy.
That's the saucy everything. You know, I'm always nervous when chefs taste my food.
I would be nervous too. You're exactly right. I know it. But the nice thing is that they can really appreciate really good food. So that's the upside.
McDonald's is missing the boat. They need to sell gator nuggets.
So, being a chef, I'm sure you're familiar with what the secret is to the gator, the fried gator, and getting that moist, tender texture to the meat.
I've never cooked gator, but I can imagine you have to.
Yeah.
Ate it.
What are you going to soak it in?
I would have gone for
milk. I'm testing him.
Milk? No.
Close. Come on, chef. What do you let your chicken sit in before you fry it?
I usually buttermilk.
There you go.
Okay. Okay.
So you were
Same
close
thing
on the
for
milk.
gator, really. Buttermilk, gator. Put your gator in a bath of buttermilk.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And it needs to sit in the buttermilk for at least 24 hours.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
It tastes like chicken. Almost.
Well, you know, that's what they say.
But good chicken.
You know, same thing with squirrel, right? Tastes like chicken.
Right. Well, I
don't do squirrel here.
Never had squirrel either.
But being from Texas and being from Houston, Texas, I'm right on the edge of Louisiana, and that's one of their big cuisines. There is the squirrel.
Well, I was raised in Texas, but I was born in Louisiana.
You want to know where I was born?
Yeah.
I was born in Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Yeah. I was born in the woods. What part of Louisiana were you?
I was born at an army base, so I can't. I was born at Fort Polk.
Well, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, see, now you're going to get me talking with this twang.
I know, you're getting me talking.
I really work very hard
to get rid of it.
Well, not to get rid of it, but when I'm talking to people, I like for them to, most of the time, be able to understand what I'm saying. So
this gator is outrageous. It's not good. It's outrageous.
Well, it's getting some very high reviews from the commenters too. Gator fritters, for example, just like you said, gator fritters.
Mm-hmm. And this is Cajun gator.
Okay.
It is from Louisiana. It's from New Orleans. So it's the real deal.
Now, how does it come in?
It does come in frozen.
Okay.
And it's fillets.
Right.
And then I just take it and I trim up. This particular brand that I get of the gator is cleaned really well.
Okay.
It's but I'm kind of fanatical. I'm a little, go figure, I'm a chef, I'm a little OCD. And so I clean it even more once I get it. So what I'm serving to the guest is truly gator tenderloin. I mean, it's the best of the gator.
I would guess that because it is so tender. I've never had gator this tender before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never been something, you know, when I tried it before, it was like, okay, gator, good. Now let's, what else do we have? But
Right.
this is, I mean, you want to just keep eating it. It's really that good.
Thank you.
And the seasonings, and again, texture, crunch, flavor. I mean, it's, you have it all going here. And it's so important when you eat to combine all those different aspects.
Absolutely, because, you know, it's, you know, you don't want to have a one-note dish of anything. You know, you want to, with each bite, I feel like each bite should have surprise upon surprise upon surprise and leave you wanting to have more.
And this
you
sauce
know?
is addictive.
Isn't that great? Now you see what I mean about just wanting to drink the stuff?
Just give me
I
a spoon.
mean, exactly. Now you got to taste the gator stew.
Now this looks very interesting, almost like a gumbo.
Yes.
And Chef, you've got your spoon coming up right behind the microphone, so if you could let us just see that as it comes up to your mouth. Yeah, just for more torture. Oh, very good. Very good.
You know, the beans. I forgot about the beans. That is wonderful. The cannellini beans, it's perfect. I would have never thought of that.
Well, you know, my husband is Italian, and so by right, I have to make sure that I represent them, no matter how southern the dish is. We got to get them worked in there somehow. So
This is really, really flavorful. It's smooth though. Nothing sticks out at you. You get that nice, easy going of the bean behind the gator. You know, honestly, I don't taste
well, it cooks so long that it's like a Brunswick stew.
Okay.
The gator kind of tends to almost disintegrate into the stew itself.
And does that help it get thick too, or?
Yes, that definitely.
Oh, it's wonderful. Wow.
So that's your gator two ways.
Gator two ways. Della's
I like the way that sounds. Yeah, that sounds like a blog post title. Gator two ways.
Now, let me tell you about your next dish you're gonna get. Now, the next one is about a 2-day process as well.
Wow.
This is one of my more popular dishes on the menu, and no matter how I want to change up the menu, they never ever let me let go of this one. And this is my twist on shrimp and grits. But this is nothing like any shrimp and grits that any of you have had. I promise. This is, and all of the dishes that you are having are original dishes that I've created.
Okay.
So the next one is a shrimp and grits, as I said. And I start by, again, with Intesity Academy's one of their marinades, which is their chai thai teriyaki, and all of their products are organic, and she tends to, especially in her marinades, she gets the green teas and such are incorporated into them. This one is again, is chai thai teriyaki. Yeah, don't you? Just the names of her products. You know, you go to bed, it's like getting a song stuck in your head. It's like you can just go through her list of ingredients. They're so wonderfully entertaining from beginning to end. You know, as it comes out of your mouth, saying it, as it goes into your mouth, ingesting it. It's just a wonderful thing. So this one, I marinate the pork butt in a chai thai teriyaki,
And then I add several different types of peppers, both hot and sweet types of peppers, and mango, and a couple of other things. And I let that sit and marinate overnight.
Okay.
And then the next day I grind it and make a sausage out of it.
Wow.
Which I take the big U10 shrimp and butterfly those. I stuff the shrimp with this sausage that I've prepared. Then the kicker is that it gets wrapped. All of that is wrapped in bacon.
Bacon.
Yes.
There's the big one.
This is a pork. If you don't like pork, you're not going to like this dish. But if you like pork, this is your dish.
Well, who doesn't like bacon?
You know, I really actually have had people come into the restaurant, and because I believe that no one should ever be told no, and my favorite way to serve a dish is the way you like it. So I have actually had people come in and order it without the bacon on the shrimp.
That's sad. That makes me sad.
You know, but you know, it's how they want it, so that's how they get it.
Yep.
But anyway, so then it's served on my angle on the grits is a polenta, but it's not the normal polenta that you get. It is a creamy polenta, which I incorporate fontina cheese, a lot of herbs and butter and cream. So it's the French version of an Italian comfort food.
Sounds good.
So that's coming up now, and I'll be right back with that.
Thank
You done with your
I'm
gator?
done with that. Thank you.
I'm not done with the gator.
I know. Let me tell you, this has been quite an experience here, and never would have guessed that I was getting fed this much wonderful food. Food that I might have been a little shy about trying sometimes, but have not disappointed at all. The food.
Yeah, just keep rubbing it in. Just keep rubbing it in, Chef. That's just fine. When you speak with Chef Debbie, when we close out the show, just let her know that there's lots of questions and comments there that she might be able to address. Just mostly people just wanting to know more about her. So absolutely. I know we don't have a link to a Google profile or anything like that, but she has people interested. So
absolutely.
Okay, so I lied. Sorry guys, I lied. The shrimp and grits will be next.
Okay.
I forgot my own order of how I was doing things. This is another. I'm going to tell you about how I do.
A little bit. There we go.
I'm going to tell you about how I do. Oh, so sorry. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I do my gnocchi, which a lot of people may do it this way, but I find more often than not that people have never had it this way. Mm-hmm. I make my gnocchi, and when I make it, and yes,
delicious.
all of my pastas, all of my dough for my flatbreads, all of that is made here. I make them with these hands, and I actually I don't even have an electric pasta maker. I actually crank the pasta dough and hand cut the pappardelle that I do, and then my linguine goes through the same crank it pasta maker. So none of my pasta is frozen. None of my pasta is dry unless somebody needs gluten-free pasta. And then, sorry, I haven't found that extra, 2 hours in the day to actually make an additional dough, but it's coming. So this is my gnocchi, the way that I make it. What makes it a little bit different is I learned actually from Rocco de Spirito. I was at the South Beach Food and Wine one year and was fortunate enough to sit in and on one of his seminars, and he talked about incorporating pastry flour into the dough, the mix for making your gnocchi. So ever since then, what I've done is I use half pastry, half all-purpose, and very little egg. A lot of people think that you got to have a lot of egg when you make your gnocchi. In fact, you can actually make this without egg.
Really?
Yeah. You don't need the potato incorporates enough starch that it serves as a binder, and so it holds together quite nicely without the egg. But so for if you're doing this at home,
you would take 2 baking potatoes, 2 russet potatoes. Here's the first secret. When you're cooking your potatoes, slice it down the top. Stick it on the rack in the oven, not on a pan. Don't oil it. Don't put any kind of grease. Don't wash it. Don't salt it. Don't pepper it. Just the potato. Cut it open down the middle. Put it on the rack in the oven. Let it cook. Bring it out. Once you can handle it, take the potato out of the peel. Run it through a ricer. For those 2 large baking potatoes, I put a 1/2 cup of all-purpose and a 1/2 cup of pastry flour and about 1/2 to 3/4 of an egg. Okay, now everybody's going to want to know, how do you get a 1/2 to 3/4 of an egg? Take an egg, put it in a bowl, whisk it really well to where it's really incorporated. Like you cannot see any of the egg white separating from the yolk. You need to make sure that it's truly mixed, beaten well. And then you just gradually pour the egg into the dough, but don't put it all in at once, and just kind of measure how much moisture you need, because potatoes, although it's the same product, they're going to, sometimes they cook differently, sometimes one's going to be more starchy than the other. And so you just mix this until it just barely comes together, because you're going to be rolling this out. And you don't want your dough overworked. That's how you wind up with tough, chewy gnocchi. So there's your mixture. Roll it out, dust it with a little bit of flour. Boil it like you would. Just let it come to the top of the water. Not a hard boil, or it's going to disintegrate your gnocchi. You want to have it just a soft rolling boil. Drop them in there. Let them come to the top. Pull them out of the top. Have a saute pan with hot butter, melted butter, not burnt butter, but a little browned is okay. And then you fry your gnocchi in the butter briefly, just so that you can see the brown on there. And not only does it give it pretty color, but it gives it just a little bit of a texture to it. So you're not eating a mashed potato.
Yep. And it really has good mouthfeel. The color is great on it. It goes in and it doesn't dissolve, but it's pillowy in a way. And I knew, I don't want to say I could taste pastry flour, but I knew there was something different.
Yes.
The minute I bit into it, I knew there was something different about it.
And it's the gluten, the difference in the gluten in a pastry flour.
And your sauce is exquisite.
Thank you. That's my restaurant version of a carbonara. Because those of you who cook at home or have had a traditional carbonara. Traditional carbonara has just raw egg that's basically in a bowl that you're going to toss your spaghetti in after you've done it, and it doesn't have necessarily cream. And so this is the restaurant version of a. So it's basically a pan, and I use pancetta instead of bacon, and just a little bit of egg yolk. To help, that helps thicken. And it's actually cooked into the sauce, so that, because I don't, regardless of the quality of the egg, I'm very leery about trying to, I don't want to really take that chance and serve the raw egg to someone.
And the egg does add some richness to the sauce too. It really does. Velvety taste and richness to it. So. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
You ready for these infamous shrimp and grits I told you about?
Oh, yeah.
And I see Spicy Queen over there, who's now here, that actually is the one who is responsible for the shrimp and grits and the wonderful finish on my fried gator. And she's the one that really kind of helped introduce me to this whole new world of adding the spice into the food, kind of making it twisty.
Absolutely.
Let me get these shrimp.
Okay. Wow. So this has been quite an amazing experience here at Della's, and the sun is out. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful Florida day now, and after going through all that rain that we had, it's just another typical day in Florida, but this is not a typical meal in Florida, let me tell you.
No, and Elena makes a good point here, thanking Chef Debbie for her recipe, or actually her method for cooking, which I appreciate too, because that we can do that at home. We can try that at home.
Everything I do is very user-friendly. Some of it very time-consuming, but very user-friendly.
If you could see this firsthand, you would die right now. It's gorgeous.
All right, bring it on up here and up a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Nice.
Excellent.
Okay.
I can smell the bacon.
And for you, my dear.
And this is shrimp and grits, right?
This is shrimp. My take on shrimp and grits. Yes.
Just a knife there.
Just the knife. Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Can I get you some more water or
Yes,
something
please.
to drink?
Thank you very much. So I'm going to taste this real quick. Not real quick.
Let me hand this to them and I'll
Savor it. Savor it.
Oh my God. Now I'm gonna make sure I don't lose it on the fork, but this is the inside of that shrimp stuffed.
Yeah.
bring it out to you.
That looks delicious.
And the polenta almost seems like risotto.
Oh, you're going to get risotto here in a minute.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
texture.
yeah. It's much different than what you are accustomed to having as polenta.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yep.
This is over the top, outrageous.
Well, we had someone comment saying that they thought that the gnocchi was your favorite so far, and I know that you're going to have a hard time deciding what's. But the look on your face.
This is my favorite. Everything has been my favorite so far. And I'm going to go back in time so they can all be my favorites again.
We can do that. I can feed you all night long.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is what a meal this is. This would freak me out.
You're about to get this. Yeah, no, y'all are all getting this.
This would freak me out. If I ordered this, one of the biggest problems I have when I go into a restaurant as a chef is I see an item on the menu that sounds really good. But when it comes out, my mind has decided how it should be.
It's a curse of being a chef.
And it rarely meets that. Now, I'd have never in my entire life imagined something this good. So you would have surpassed, when I saw this, I'd have gotten it, and I would have surpassed anything I could have ever come up with.
Well, thank you.
This is amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, now you can see why they won't let me take it off the menu.
Oh, God.
Is it a pork lovers? Is it a pork lovers dish?
You can take this off the menu. It'd be a riot.
Yeah. Seriously, I've actually had occasions where I've sold out of this during service and have had people really upset with me because I didn't have it. And of course, everything I do is we do it fresh. I say do it fresh. I mean, for Friday night service, I'm preparing this on Thursday. So, I'm only open 2 days a week. So, in order to maintain that level of having fresh product, I don't mass produce. And, I mean, now I can turn around and start Friday night to produce it and have it for Saturday, but when it's gone for that day, it's gone. And so I now have people that will call in advance when they make their reservations, and I have a couple of dishes. This is one of them. The other one, unfortunately, I'm not preparing tonight, but I have a duck dish that I created. That people call and say, do you have the shrimp tonight? Do you have the duck tonight? Make sure that I'm coming in at this time. I want to make sure that you have it left. So that's what I'm getting. Make sure you save me one.
I can see why.
Honest to goodness sakes.
I can see why. This is just outrageous. It really is. Now, I'll tell you another thing. I'm not a big fan of polenta. This is amazing.
Not your mama's polenta, is it?
No. You can't hit people with it. You can't play games with it and bounce it.
No, and that's typically because polenta in northern Italy, one of the main reasons that they have, well, besides the fact, another little short fact, I know I'm like constantly, oh, this and that, but northern Italy has not had pasta, but maybe for the last less than 100 years. They didn't have pasta because they didn't have wheat.
Right.
They had corn. So they used cornmeal and risotto because they had arborio, they have the rice fields.
Mm-hmm.
So they have always had the risotto or polenta. The polenta they used for a bread in sorts, and still do. The first time I ever had polenta was as, you know how, especially here in the South, we have to sop everything up? And yes, that is a technical word, sop. You have to sop it up. So for them, they use the polenta for that. And they call it, this is kind of slang, but they call it tucho. And so the first time I ever had polenta was at my husband's aunt's house, and it was white corn, and she made white polenta, and it was very hard and rubbery, and you could have killed somebody with it, but that's what they do, and they use that also kind of like as a knife. In the South, we use biscuits, and we kind of slide everything onto the fork or whatever with whatever piece of dry bread or whatever that we have. They use polenta. This is not like that.
This is excellent.
And actually, I do specials on occasion where I take this polenta and I spread it out into a pan and let it sit, and because it will arrive at a particular density if it sits over time. Polenta gets denser and denser. And so I spread it out, let it sit, and then I take it, I cut it, and I grill it.
Ooh.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Really good stuff. Because now you've got, because I incorporate a lot of herbs and butter, and as I said, there's fontina cheese in it, so it's layered with flavors. Take that and add that taste of a grill.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It'll make you want to hit somebody.
Because there's so many aromatics in there now. I mean, it was just, you could have just given me a bowl of that, and it would have been
dinner.
Oh yeah.
Dinner done right.
Yeah, dinner done right. Better than any grits around here.
So that's your shrimp and grits. The next one that I got coming up is your lamb.
Okay.
And the lamb, the way, talking about Paris earlier, the way that I created this lamb dish, it's pretty much just a really traditional rack of lamb that I just serve it, as I said, I French the racks and then cut the, after it's cooked, I cut them into lollipops and I serve it as lollipops. And but went to this fantastic restaurant in Paris called Spring. My husband decided before I came here with Beverly and reopened a year and a half ago, we had not had a vacation in probably 6 years. So we decided we were going to take a week. Or did we go 2 weeks? No, we went 2 weeks because we were a week in Paris and a week in Venice. And it was a food trip. We had read an article in Food and Wine where it talked about the top 15 or top 20 places to eat in Paris. And I knew that I was in the process of trying to create a menu for Della's After Dark. So I said, okay, I'll use this again, purely work related.
It was work related, exactly.
It had to be done. It was ugly, but it had to be
done.
So he booked like 10 of these restaurants.
Wow.
We would have, and we were only in Paris for 5 days, 6 days.
Yeah, again, a tough job, Deb.
Oh my goodness. Seriously, they were rolling me in a wheelbarrow by the end. It was like I actually had to cancel, and these are all places that are very difficult to get into. I had to cancel because it was like I couldn't put we were going lunch and dinner.
Yeah.
I couldn't put another bite in my mouth. I was like,
that's what we
done.
did on our first trip to Paris, and why Lisa won't eat French food anymore.
Yeah,
it burned her out.
It really does, and I'm really not trying to be flippant about it. You just really, there's just so much that you can take in before you stop experiencing, and it becomes kind of unattractive. So anyway, this one restaurant we went to, it was a tasting menu that the chef did every night. So someday I would love to do this concept. It doesn't go over quite as well in the States, but where you go in and you don't get to order what you want. It's this is what's being served tonight, and this is what you get, and everybody loves it. They don't have a problem.
The menu,
So anyway,
exactly. You order the menu.
this particular night, one of the courses was a lamb tenderloin, and he served a small lamb medallion with, on the side was a quenelle of Greek yogurt, and then on the other side was Kalamata olives. The flavors were amazing, really amazing. So the more I thought about that, and it just kept lingering on my palate in a good way, not a bad way. And so what I did was I had traditionally done, the rack of lamb where everybody takes the Dijon mustard and they put the Dijon mustard to adhere whatever coating you're going to use and finish your rack that way. So I decided, what if instead of the Dijon mustard, I used the Greek yogurt? And this Greek yogurt also works as the acid part of it to tenderize actually the meat as well as add that flavor. And then of course I used just Parmesan cheese and breadcrumb mixture, heavy on the Parmesan cheese, as the topping, the coating, and then that's how I finish it off. So that's how I kind of incorporated those. Well, I have a very dear chef friend of mine that has just come back to the Orlando area that did a Kalamata olive pate.
Ooh.
I would love to say that I'm the one that came up with this particular thing, but I did not. Using it on the lamb, I did. Okay. So anyway, I changed it up a little bit, like versus using thyme, I used rosemary, and that's one of the great things about just changing up your herbs or whatever. You can change a complete flavor profile just by doing the smallest of things. So anyway, it's lots of butter, Kalamata olives, and then I use rosemary to kind of tie in, because I roast my lamb with olive oil and rosemary, salt and pepper before I do the Greek yogurt and the breadcrumbs. So I tie the rosemary, and just a little bit goes a long way, guys, with rosemary. Yeah. People think, oh, the more the better.
You got this.
Not with rosemary. Yeah, no. Rosemary really, I would say for about 2 cups of Kalamata olives, I might use 2 teaspoons of rosemary, and that's probably too much. So really, less is more. Yeah. But anyway, so it's just a lot of butter, Kalamata olives, and rosemary, and you whip this up, and it's butter, literally. It's a flavored butter.
Olive butter.
Yes, and so that's what I garnish the lamb with this Kalamata pate, and then I serve it on top of a saffron risotto.
So you're killing me here. You made me watch him eat all that food, and now you're talking about this. Let me see it. I'm starving. I'm
going to go get it right now, and I'm going to tell you, in my eyes, this is worth the trip to Tampa. It's just to come have this lamb. It's incredible, if I say so myself.
So Brandon then is near Tampa. Is that right, Chef?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It was actually a very easy drive coming here. I take 4 in, and generally I go a little bit further till we hit Tampa, but this was right before. This was actually exit 14, and then it's just a couple little back roads winding through a strawberry area, because they grow a lot of strawberries in this part of Florida, and coming over here to Brandon's very pretty little town.
So you're relatively new to Florida, but you're managing to find some pretty nice restaurants. Do you just go out and scout them out, or do they come to you?
No, I have friends. I know a guy that knows a guy. Yeah, I'm ready.
It looks like it's here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Gorgeous. Wow. Now that is a plate. Beautiful presentation. Love the drizzles.
Reduced balsamic vinegar. I believe it should accompany every dish.
Oh. This is one of those things that's almost too pretty to eat when you get it. You have to appreciate it before. And it's rare that I'll get a plate like that, but Lisa knows when they serve it, I look at it, I turn it around, I admire it a little bit, and then I eat it. So.
Well, it's true what they say. You eat with your eyes,
And if it's not pleasing to the eye, then why in the world are you going to bring it up close and personal to your mouth?
In fact,
That's true. That is true.
I dive into this. I want to take an Instagram picture of it.
Ah, look at him. I should take an Instagram picture of Chef taking an Instagram picture.
Let me stand up.
We love our food photos. As a matter of fact, Debbie, do you have a Pinterest board on your website for the restaurant?
I don't have a Pinterest board. I'm sorry.
Well, we eat with our eyes, and when we're all the way here in Colorado, we kind of like to see the pictures.
Instagram, I have a ton of pictures, food pictures on Instagram, on my Facebook and my Twitter.
Oh, good.
Yes, both on Facebook, Dolce Debbie and Della's After Dark, and then on Twitter, the same thing, Dolce Debbie, one word, DOLCEDEBBIE. And
here's the lamb pop.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm constantly posting photos of food, of specials, of things that I'm testing. I really use social media a whole lot to find out if what is pleasing or sounding good to me is something that the public or people that are inclined to come to the restaurant are going to enjoy, because I can think it's the best thing in the world, and if no one else is going to like it, I'm just spinning my wheels.
Right.
And so I really do listen and watch to see what people are telling me that they want. And and a lot of times I'll even say, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. What are you wanting tonight? And a lot of people will do that, but I honestly do use that and have created a lot of dishes based on my oxtail that I do that people have fallen in love with. I do a Caribbean curried braised oxtail, and the idea is my dish is based on what some people had actually responded when I said, what's your favorite way to have oxtail? So I really, I don't have a Pinterest, and I'll get right on that, Deb.
Well, you know what? The Instagram is good, too, and we'll check out the Facebook. I didn't know that it was Dolce Debbie, so we'll get that put up there so folks can do it. I also want to remind people on the link on our event page, you can go over to Della's After Dark restaurant, and you can put a review based on what you're seeing here on this interview. So do that as well, and we've got some good pictures on your website. So thank you so much for letting us enjoy this meal through video, and then Chef is just going to sit there and enjoy it through the fork.
This is like my show when my guests are so good I don't have to talk.
Yeah.
I'm eating. Deb's doing a great job talking.
I've never been accused of being shy or short on words. That's for sure.
Well, you have had it coming out of the kitchen in a steady stream. Is there anything else that you've got coming out of the kitchen for this show?
I think we're done, aren't we?
I think I'm done.
I don't think Chef could fit another bite in his mouth. So
I've got plenty back there. I've got a menu right over here, and I'm always happy to set in motion
this lamb
the dishes.
Is so tasty. It's mild. There's no overbearing flavor. You can taste the topping that you put on, and that olive butter. Wow, that's potent too.
It's another one of those. A little goes a long way.
What a wonderful flavor, and the risotto is just amazing.
All right, my mouth is just watering watching him dig into this.
I'm telling you, I didn't stop eating. It was like one bite is better than the next, and this risotto is so perfectly done.
Also, if anybody wants to go and see what other guests and other people who've been to the restaurant have to say, we've got quite a few reviews that are on Yelp. And what I am really proud of is the fact that my reviews when you go to places such as Yelp or Travelocity or those sites. The bad and the ugly are right there with the good, and I'm proud to say that we, even with the bad, we stay at 95% or better.
Yeah, that's something to be proud of.
And so we take a lot of pride in what we do. We don't try to promote ourselves as being perfect all of the time, because no one is, and if you are, you're probably not real.
Right.
Everybody has bad days, and I'm guilty of having those bad days. I strive not to, but we always do what we can to make it right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so
Yeah, we'll make sure that people check out those reviews, and then of course add your own reviews. If you get over there based on what you've seen here, of course I'm just going to review what it looks like and what it sounds like, and it looks absolutely delicious. So
if you've got a special, not just a special occasion, if you want to make any day into a special occasion, come here for dinner.
Oh, thank you.
This
sounds like it.
Really amazing.
The one thing we haven't touched on, if I may, real quick, is the fact that we have live jazz music every Friday and Saturday night. And I have a big announcement for everybody listening right now. Starting September the 14th, I will be doing a Sunday brunch.
Woohoo!
And we will do it for 6 weeks. Every Sunday for 6 weeks, starting September 14th. I'll do it from 10:30 to 3, and then I have my jazz music from 12 to 3. Okay. And that'll be every Sunday. And just to give you a little idea of what you can expect on my menu, I have a tiramisu French toast, which I created for one of the television shows here that tapes here, called Daytime. They're syndicated throughout the States. But anyway, I created it for one of the hosts there. I also have my twist on, I can't wait to see your face on this one. I have my twist on Eggs Benedict. And instead of the Canadian ham, I use a grilled steak, which is then topped with a shrimp and crab au gratin, and then the poached egg with a lemon thyme beurre blanc.
Oh my God.
And I have a duck hash. And here you go. Here's my roots coming out. I have buttermilk biscuits with cheddar cheese and jalapenos and a chorizo gravy. So those are just a couple of the things that I'll be. Oh, and my pork belly. I had to cut it off at serving so much food. But I do it as a special. It's not on my menu all the time. But it's a pork belly that I braise. First of all, I let it sit and marinate it overnight in, again, Intesity Academy. You guys got to check her out. Intesity Academy's Honey Hype. It's a new rub that they came out with probably about a year ago. And it actually has crystallized honey in it. It is to die for. Anyway, I let this sit and marinate with the Honey Hype on it. Then the next day, I braise it in maple syrup and a little bit of Moscato.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be on the Sunday menu as well.
Definitely,
regularly on the Sunday menu.
Coming down for a drive for some Sunday brunch then.
Yes.
We'll be back.
With the Prosecco nonetheless.
I love Prosecco.
And it's Prosecco di Conigliano, which is from the region where my husband's mother was born. And that's one of the things that Beverly, you guys met Beverly earlier. She is the fantastic owner of all things Della. And she has a very, one of the things that she told me when we met is that her wine lists, she wants them to be composed with boutique wines that you're not able to just go down to your local grocer or your local liquor store and find these wines. So she takes great pride and goes to great lengths working with our distributors to get wines that are only available for a short. And so consequently, a lot of times I may have to after a couple of months, I'm unable to have that wine any longer because
The availability.
exactly, it's small production, and so when it's gone, it's gone.
Well, in Florida, you can buy wine everywhere, so it's good not to find wines you can get at CVS.
Yeah.
Not that I knock CVS.
And not that there's anything wrong
No,
with having wines that you can get in these locations.
Right,
but when you go out for dinner
and
you're trying to go somewhere special and different, and you like to explore different avenues, it's nice to be able to have that option.
Absolutely.
With the same products that, we don't have bizarre varietals of wine. It's, we have a Pinot Noir, we have, Merlots, we have Cabernet Sauvignon, et cetera, et cetera. But just from very intimate wineries, intimate locations. So.
Very good.
Wow. Well, Debbie, it was great getting to see everything that comes out of your kitchen, and we sure thank you and your sous chefs and Beverly for letting us come in today. I'm starving right now. I need to go down to my kitchen and dig around. Yeah, I wish I was there. But
better yet, just come on down. We'll do the work for you.
I'll just jump on down there.
Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much for everything. It's such a pleasure.
My pleasure as well. I look forward to many more occasions.
Everyone, thanks so much for stopping by and for watching one tremendous food and booze show. Mia Voss, eat your heart out. I eat everything else.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.